In this episode of OG55, we're talking about the Disney treasure. We got some images from one, the only Mr. Scott Gustin that are going to blow your mind. The Disney treasure looks absolutely fantastic. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it. Up next, I got the Italiano with me today on this episode of OG55. Let's Welcome aboard to another episode of this all-black shirt edition of OG55. We're talking about the Disney treasure. The Disney treasure. There is a lot of news about this new ship. It looks absolutely fantastic. We're going to break it down, or as George says in Pennsylvania, we're going to break it down. George, we're going to break it down. How you doing?
Doing good. Actually, so glad that I was able to get my all my social medias kind of back into place so I could keep my ever so popular, very important spiel that I always do. It felt weird to, even though I'm not on X as much as I usually am and everything, but it rolls off the tongue very nicely.
Exactly. Now, I joke with George because he's got that Pennsylvania accent, and he technically lives in Pennsylvania, but we know deep down George is a Californian.
Hi, Monster Hunter Pete Hope.
There we go. And soon you will literally be a Californian.
Yes.
You know, so
not too much longer.
Not too much longer. Where can everybody at home find you on social media?
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There we go. Let's get the party started. This is from Scott Gustin with these shots are incredible. Mm-hmm. So this is from Mr. Gustin. He says here, while the treasure and wish have the same ship layout and share some venues, the restaurants, the bars, and other spaces that were updated were all changed for the better. Massive upgrades. Obviously, we're seeing it here. It's crazy good. The ship's theme, colors, and decor all give the ship a more refined and cohesive experience. George, okay, so this is what do we call this? Is this Atrium?
The lobby atrium, yes.
Lobby atrium, and it looks freaking amazing. I'm trying to cool it on the cussing, you know. Every now and then, but I don't want to go too nuts with it. But I love this with the lamp on the ceiling, or the lighting piece, or the chandelier. I don't know what you call it, right? Mm-hmm. Very Arabic, right? Which I love, which obviously makes sense because you have Aladdin and Jasmine as a statue. The really, really detailed carpeting. I love the ceiling. Kind of reminds me of there's a building in Tokyo Disney Sea that kind of has like this astrology theme to it or whatever. I don't know exactly where it is. I've seen many pictures of it. It's really cool. But this kind of reminds me of it with the stars and the blue, like kind of like the sky. Dude, I'm telling you, this looks absolutely incredible. I'm really impressed. We'll start with the atrium lobby. Initial thoughts, George, on this.
Breathtaking, very spectacular. I love how they adapted to some of the shortcomings with the Wish, which their lobby atrium is more kind of like a grand ballroom, decadent to like for Cinderella. As you had mentioned, this gives like a very Middle Eastern Arabic kind of feel to it, to the designs on the carpet, to the design layout of the chandelier that mixes in with the stars, because the main signature statue is Aladdin and Jasmine flying over, sideways, and under on that magic carpet ride to a whole new world. Yes, folks, I had to add that in there as part of the storybook land canals at Disneyland. So I had to add that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I love the scope of it. I love the color palette that is going on. And yeah, as I said, the Wish gives off more of like ballroom, kind of like castle vibes that was for Cinderella. This gives more like of the Agrabah Palace in Aladdin, for sure.
Yeah, more of an adventure kind of leaning element to it, which I've said many times. You're going to want to do that with these cruise ships, especially the more and more you expand. You're going to want to have a different vibe to each one. You don't want to have all of them very princessy. You want to have some stuff that kind of gives people that are into different things something, you know.
And I love the color tone that they added to this. Gives more of like a darker, like nighttime feel, where the other ships have a more brighter, vibrant color scheme to it. So I was kind of worried about it because when they showed the concept art, it was like very dark. It was like these dark kind of like pastel blues and like teal greens and stuff. It was like very dark, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but kind of throwing off like the blues kind of mixed with the purples and everything. It fits very well.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. Now I do say that the Wish gets a lot of crap from fans, but we actually did a cruise on the Wish, what, like a year and a half ago now, almost. Wow, I can't believe it's been that long, but it's been a long time. About a year and some change, basically. And I kept hearing all these horrible things about the Wish. We experienced it. I thought it was really nice. I mean, is it perfect? No. I mean, I do have some criticisms, but overall, I still really enjoyed it, you know? Yeah. But this one is like, I mean, come on. This one is absolutely incredible.
And the coverage of this ship is more than what they did for the Wish, to be honest with you. Like, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Absolutely. I think maybe that's a sign they're more proud of this ship, and they should be. I mean, it's gorgeous, or maybe it's also a sign of new leadership, because I think when the Wish went online, it was Chapek, right?
I believe so, yes.
So that might be it too, is we have a different team now, you know, and Josh is running to be CEO. So he's making his rounds, you know. He was on CNBC. Our friend Seymour brought to our attention. He was on CNBC with Jim Cramer talking numbers and stuff. So he's being tested. Josh DeMaro is definitely being tested. They're watching how he handles these very numbers driven conversations on CNBC.
And as Seymour said, that Josh has, to his knowledge, never did that before. And yeah, I have to clarify the fact Josh has never done anything like that on a major news station broadcasting from inside the ship itself.
Yeah. No, I know. I that was something very interesting, and for him to get into numbers and data points and all that was really interesting for me from Josh, because it's a departure, but it makes sense though, being that he's in the running for the CEO. And we will be doing a video, by the way, on this news that Comcast is spinning off their TV stuff, because that has huge ramifications for even Disney. I think we'll talk about why. Now, this is the deck. Pretty standard. I don't know. I mean, this looks like the Wish or the Wonder or any of them. Am I wrong? Am I off base? Am I a schmuck for saying that?
So, sort of. So there are some differences to it. Just a little bit.
Wait, I'm sort of a schmuck.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just messing with you. No,
now the pool behind or it looks like the front of the chairs. That's odd that they have the chairs facing the opposite side of the Jumbotron screen, the funnel vision, if you will. But like the pool, it's like a round pool. It almost kind of looks like an adult jacuzzi tub, like an oversized jacuzzi tub. Now I don't know if that's on the floor base with the chairs, but it also looks like that the funnel vision screen is a little bit lower than what they usually have it.
Oh, that's true.
Now, it could just be the angle that they took the picture, but yeah, for some reason, the funnel vision screen seems much lower.
That's very, very true. It does seem lower. Also, for your inquiry about the chairs, I think it was for this picture because they have the logo on the chair. So anything like they want the logo facing the camera. I think it was just aesthetics for the picture, probably.
Well, they shouldn't do that. It's confusing.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. This does look a little bit lower. Absolutely. Now, here we go, dude. Okay, man. This is the Haunted Mansion bar. Now, I love this on so many levels. First of all, the lighting package for this thing is absolutely fantastic. It's perfect for the Haunted Mansion. You got the Haunted Fish Tank, which was a Raleigh Crump concept, right? So rest in peace, Raleigh. We miss you. Yeah, that's a great little homage to Raleigh. I love that.
Especially because he designed that specifically for the Haunted Mansion attraction at the parks, and it never made its way in. So I love that they incorporated it actually into the parlor itself with the like the haunted fish skeletons that are invading the fish tank.
Oh, it's amazing. And this is actually kind of the beauty of Disney expanding their themed entertainment offerings, right? So they're not limited now to kind of tinkering with the original Haunted Mansion or Disney World's Haunted Mansion. You have options. So now you can dig up these old concepts from like the Nine Old Men, like, you know, we have like Raleigh or even Mark Davis or whoever, right? You can dig up these old concepts and utilize them in other things like a cruise ship or some other park overseas, or like, it doesn't always have to be like tinkering with the original. You can do it. You can utilize these ideas in many, many different ways now, which I think is pretty cool. And I think this was very clever. Now, the interesting thing about this Haunted Mansion bar or parlor, as they call it, this theme is kind of perfect for a cruise ship, right? Because think about it, man. Like, you're in this haunted bar and you're on a ship. So the thing is going to be creaking, kind of moving around a little bit. It adds to that creepiness of the whole, like the ship itself adds to the creepiness of the bar. Just being a ship and kind of having that motion and that creaking and everything, I think will add to it. And then you add all the wonderful theming they did. It really is just a brilliant, brilliant decision. Now, I love it. I don't know what it has to do with treasure, you know, but I still love it. I think it's amazing. Now, George, you're more of an expert with the cruise lines. When they name a ship, say Disney Treasure, does the whole ship necessarily have to be themed to like that treasure element, or is it just the atrium that they really focus on with that ship theme?
So what they do is they kind of, not necessarily everything, but they like to pay homage to what treasure stands for which I remember when they released the kind of like the promo video for the whole like release of the Disney Treasure. Treasure could mean so many different variations to each person. Like the treasure could actually mean like a treasure chest full of gold and rubies and what have you, but also the treasure of family, which would involve adding Coco to one of the restaurants, or treasure being like a hidden gem in the ship that is like a treasure. Like for the Haunted Mansion, it's something that is completely out there that you wouldn't find anywhere else. So there's like different variations of what is the terminology to treasure.
Understood. Yeah, that makes sense. You can kind of take that word, like if you have like your significant other, he or she is a treasure to you, that kind of thing, or your mom, your grandma, they're treasures to me, and like that, like you have that kind of. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical treasure. So yeah, great point, George. But before we move on to the next slide, I mean, anything you want to add to this? I mean, this looks so freaking good, man. I can't believe how perfect this is.
This area of the ship, I guarantee you, is going to be very popular. I feel like that they're going to probably have to do wait lists to even be able to even step foot into this. This is going to be very popular.
Yeah, there is going to be a wait list, but there will be someone at the door saying, "There's room for one more."
Yes. So yeah, I can't wait to see what this room materializes to be.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, so this is fantastic. We love it. This is A+. Really great stuff, Imagineering. We're impressed. And the Raleigh Crumb stuff was just like A+. Now, this is the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Is this a restaurant or a bar?
Bar.
That's a big bar. That's a big bar. This, again, top-notch theming. I mean, this is absolutely incredible, dude.
I love how they take something as old and classic as 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and kind of incorporate it into a bar theme. Now, I think for me, this one kind of feels a little bit lost in translation I guess it could kind of fit into treasure, like, you know, going 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. But right. I would think that this would have fit more on the Disney Adventure.
Yeah, I can see that. I can kind of see it either way, though, because when you can search for treasure, underwater treasure. Yeah, I guess, but it's also adventure. But I can see that. I can see the adventure. Absolutely. There used to be, I've talked about it a lot on the channel, but there used to be out here in LA, there used to be a restaurant owned by Steven Spielberg and Katzenberg called The Dive. To my Californians who live in the LA area, I don't know if you remember The Dive in Century City. Great restaurant. It's gone now. It's something else now. But this kind of reminds me of that a little bit because it had like that submarine nautical kind of theme to it. I used to love that restaurant. It was awesome. But this is cool. This is very, very cool. Again, I think this will be very popular. I love the lighting package again in this one, like the Haunted Mansion one. I love the ceiling, how it lights up. Is that gonna be, I wonder, is that gonna be like projection, like an aquarium?
Yeah, they're supposed to add a lot of special kind of like thematic elements of using screen mapping, like with the giant squid and everything.
Dude, that's incredible. I'm telling you, this ship is absolutely breathtaking. So this is from Scott Gustin again. Gosh, man, these shots are just crazy good. Even some of the secondary locations like Sarabi and Skipper Society are massive upgrades compared to the Wish. And Disney, the Tale of Moana, looks like it could be the best show on any Disney ship. So this is Sarabi, like the Sarabi Theatre. Is that what this is called?
So yeah, so Sarabi, like named after obviously Simba's mom in The Lion King. This is more for like, I'm assuming they're going to hold for like the smaller entertainment venues, sort of like how they do like with the nightclubs, or like a little bit of like the family entertainment, like the D Lounge.
Oh, okay. So like what we did with the where the singing competition,
yes,
and then
karaoke, the kind of stuff like that. Yeah,
that's where this is going to be.
yeah.
Okay. And it was like the club where me and Mindy were like the only 3 people there. That one.
Basically, yes.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, cool. No, I like it. This looks really cool. The crazy thing is, we recently did a video. I think it was a members only video. Mm-hmm. Become a member today. No, I was kidding. That was shameless. But you should become a member though. But because we do release members only content. But we did a members only video on the Disney treasure, about the people that got rescued from this ship, right? Their boat was going down and this ship actually ended up saving them. And I'm looking at this ship going, can you imagine you were in some rickety boat sinking in the middle of the ocean off of Bermuda. And now they get you, Disney picks you up and you're staying at this thing for a few days. Like, I couldn't even imagine like what these people were thinking when they were like going through that experience. Like, what a whirlwind of emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, that's crazy.
Right? It's just crazy. But overall, you like this design, George, for the theater?
Yeah, I do. I think it's really cool. It's very nice. I love how they actually named it after a character that really is kind of overlooked. It's not your typical character like to name an area Sarabi, and I love how they pay homage to The Lion King, but it kind of gives off like more of that African style feel. That's something that you would kind of see in like Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. And then here's another picture where you can just kind of chill. And this is for the Skipper Society. So what's Skipper Society? Is this a restaurant? It seems like a little nook or something.
I think the Skipper Society, from my understanding, I think this is going to be based off of the Jungle Cruise. Again, it's more like of another kind of like bar and lounge.
Okay.
Kind of they may have like kind of like small like finger foods or pub food.
Okay.
But yeah, this is going to be based off of like sort of like how the Skipper Canteen is at Magic Kingdom a little bit, but on
gotcha.
Ship.
Gotcha. I actually, George, we are honored here at OT55 that Disney went through the trouble of giving us an homage here on the ship with the 55. Super nice. It's that
special access, bro.
Dude, come on, man. All those brunches with Dana Walden, I mean, it paid off. We got 55 right here on the wall. That's awesome. Absolutely. And we got Moana. So, I mean, just incredible stuff. Speaking of Moana, it's tracking really well. Moana 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Disney's back, man. Box office has been crushing this year. They got a new ship coming online with a treasure, and it's been. I'm telling you, man. The news of Disney's demise over the past couple of years have been greatly exaggerated. I think the company's going to do just fine. Go ahead, George. I do apologize.
Absolutely. And speaking of the Tale of Moana, as Gustin was saying, that this could possibly be one of the best shows ever on a Disney cruise, because Damara already showed concept art of a 50-foot puppet for Taka that's going to be part of the show, one of the biggest puppets that they've ever utilized, and it's very very intricate in how like the puppetry operates. So I'm very excited to see. And yeah, what a perfect time to have a Moana show on a cruise ship with, I mean, Moana doing banger numbers on Disney Plus. It's going to do banger numbers at the box office with the sequel. We got the live action version coming out shortly after, I think within a year or so after Moana 2. And who even knows really what more is to come with Moana in the theme parks.
I guess we'll have to see how far they'll go.
And afterwards, when they're all said and done, Disney will just have to say to us fans, "You're welcome."
Exactly. You know, it's hard. It's really hard, you know, waiting for this stuff, but just, you know, stay strong like a rock, you know? There we go. Okay. Enough dad jokes, but, George, great stuff. The Disney Treasure is looking incredible. Absolutely incredible. I definitely want to do it. Now, this is not coming out of, this ship is out of Florida. It's not gonna be California, right?
Correct. It's going to sail out of Port Canaveral. Its maiden voyage is going to be December 21st of this year.
Interesting. So what ships are coming out of California right now?
Right now, I believe the Wonder. I think the Wonder is the only one that's doing like the Baja cruises and the Mexican Riviera.
Okay.
Sometimes they utilize the Magic. I know the Wonder was the only ship who did those kind of cruises West Coast because at the time it was the only ship that could fit through the Panama Canal. Now that they opened up the canal a little bit more, bigger ships can now fit through there.
Gotcha. Giggity. I'm just kidding. But why? Okay, are we ever, in your opinion, because like I said, you're the cruise guy, you've gone on like 10 of these now. Are we ever going to get like ships like the Treasure and the Wish and some of these newer ships over here in California? Do you ever think?
I personally feel after the Treasure is going to be home based in Port Canaveral for right now. The Disney Destiny is going to be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The Disney Adventure is going to be in Singapore. The ship that OLC is funding is obviously going to be in Japan, but then the 4 other ships after that, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a home-based official like Disney Cruise Line port in California and have a home ship there so people can kind of do a land and sea vacation with Disneyland and Disney Cruise Line, just like how they do with Walt Disney World.
That would be interesting. And that would be something because we're going to get a 70th anniversary announcement sometime. I mean, because they're going to have to tell us what they're doing with entertainment and stuff. What if that's part of it? What if they announce we're building a port in California? And
it is very possible because they said all 13 ships will be online by 2031.
They might be saving that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to spread these out a little bit. I mean, you can't have, 13 of them over there in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to spread it out a little bit, I would assume.
And that's why I thought for sure one of them was going to be in South America, which still very well could. They still could create a port there.
Yeah.
But I think for me, honestly, one in South America, maybe one in Canada, one over in California, and maybe another in Australia.
Yeah. That'd be great. It'd be great. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. But yeah, great stuff. They're doing great stuff over there with the cruise line, and they have forever. I mean, I was so impressed. I've only done 2 of them. I've done the Wonder and the Wish, but both times were A+ experiences, So it was really, really cool stuff. But yeah, whatever they're doing over there on the cruise lines, Disney, try to mimic some of that over in the parks. You know what I'm saying? That customer service is just second to none over there. But the Italiano, where can everybody find you at home now that X was able to fix your hacking situation?
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
Absolutely. Everybody comment down below with all your thoughts on the Disney Treasure, Disney's latest cruise ship. George and I love it. I don't know. I don't know I don't see anything here that not to love. I know I'm going to sound like a total shill and people are going to call me a pixie duster, but hey, if I see something I don't like, I'll say it. I don't see anything on this one I don't like. I think it all looks fantastic.
But bro, us pixie dusters have a theme song.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we have that theme song. And our Californians have a theme song too.
Aye, monster on the beat, ho.
So if you're a California pixie duster,
Aye, monster on the beat, ho.
Just a little faith and try and make a little pixie dust.
there we go. There we go. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this episode of OG 55. We're going to end this show like we always end this show with the Queen. Here she.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.